We smoking on Eddie. Slide for Eddie.
Thousands of people upon thousands of people retweeting this and sharing it on in the quotes and in the comments.
Desecrating a grave.
We smoking on Eddie. Slide for Eddie.
Compared me to Hitler, compared me to Stalin. You have called me a Jew, you've called me a Nazi, you have called me a pedo, you have called me a cuck. These people want me to die.
Slide for Eddie.
That's what they want.
The war of the two most autistic people on the internet has begun, and this war is between Chibi Reviews and Josh Moon. And this is something I didn't even expect to even happen at all. Like, this is some brutal shit. This is a brutal internet feud, and the only people who even care about this are the terminally online psychos like me. But before we get to even explain anything, first of all, I want to thank you guys. I saw it. We have reached to 300 subs, and I'm really fucking grateful, and I'm really happy. We need to get higher because I'm not satisfied yet. I think we could get to 400 subs. So start subbing, start subscribing to me. You could start doing that shit. Let's get to higher numbers. We need to grow bigger, better, and even stronger. But that's what I wanted to say. But let's get back to the content. But for the people who actually have a life, maybe saying, okay, who is Josh Moon and who is this Chibi Reviews individual? Well, first of all, Chibi Reviews is an anime YouTuber slash cuckold who has around 500,000 subscribers and is mostly well known to defend Lolicon. And if you don't know what Lolicon is, well, I wish I were you. I wish I had an innocent brain like you. But let me tell you what Lolicon is. And Lolicon is pretty much drawings of children portrayed in sexual ways. So yeah, it's pedophilic, and these 30-year-old losers pretty much defend it till the very end. They defend it like their life depends on it. And Josh Moon is the owner of the Kiwi Forums, a very well-known doxing forum, and Josh Moon also has a very interesting internet history, but we will get there when we get there. But you may be asking, okay, how did this feud even start? And well, I did make a video on this already, and you should watch it. But to give you a summarization of what happened, Chibi Reviews got mad when people were being mean to him and were making the horrible thing and making fun of his dead brother by saying they'll turn him into a bone chair. The scary thing is so scary. They're actually gonna dig up your brother and turn him into a bone chair? Oh, the horror of it all. People are saying mean things. And this free speech warrior, Chibi Reviews, didn't like that at all and decided for some reason to go after the Kiwi Farms and make the situation even worse while he talks about how the Kiwi Farms are going to kill him. Even if the best thing you could do is just to shut the fuck up and deal with the harassment behind the scenes. And that is just a summary. There's a lot more things that happened, but like I said, watch my videos. But now let's get to the new thing, the battle between Josh Moon and Chibi Reviews. This is a Hell in a Cell match, and whoever loses gets cucked and raped. Buy your tickets, grab a drink, grab some popcorn. Now let's see who gets out of alive from this Hell in a Cell match. But how does this even start? Well, it starts by this tweet over here by Chibi Reviews, and he says, "Why is it with aunties are always projecting creepy people, man, lol?" And you could see that it's just Chibi being smug, as usual, saying, why are the aunties or normal people who believe that lolicons are pedophiles are always bad people, while they lie about people who are anti-lolicon, like people like Schlepp, Alex Rosen, and soon to be Josh Moon. But Josh Moon sees this, and he says, "Why do you want to fuck kids? Did your brother also want to fuck kids? Is this why he killed himself? I didn't realize the bone chair was a pedo bone chair. That kind of reduces its value. Who wants to sit in a chair like that? Gross." And you could see Josh Moon links the Chibi Reviews Kiwi Farms thread. And you can see Josh Moon just fells Chibi Reviews, and because Chibi Reviews has a inability to ignore it, even if that's the best thing he could do to save his own fucking life or the assassination threats that he wants to stop so badly, he decides to respond by saying this. "Josh, what is this? You want to allow CSAM on your site? We all see you likely into kids." And you can see that Chibi Reviews accuses Josh Moon of liking kids and allowing CP in his website, and Chibi Reviews provides a screenshot to back up what he's saying. And let's read this screenshot. And you could see over here around August 21st, 2018, Josh Moon says on his own website, I still host /pedophile if it obeys my content rules and if there was interest. In 16chan, free speech is free speech. Slit your throat, you trashy faggot kike. Now, this looks pretty bad, but there is context to this because what Josh Moon is talking about is that his website has a thread called /pedophile. And this thread are people debating about pedophilia, and yeah, this is still bad. You could criticize Josh Moon for hosting it, but no CP was shared at all in this server. So pretty much, Chibi says that no hosted CP is a fool online, and Josh Moon decides to respond to Chibi Reviews by saying, I was a moderator on 8chan and later hosted my own IBS with 8chan's libertarian philosophy. I never allowed CSAM. The board you're referring to was a user-created text only and never actually used by anyone. Isn't this free speech like your kitty drawings? And yeah, he literally says that he was a moderator on 8chan and that he used to allow that, and he does clarify this on a recent stream by saying that the reason why he did nothing about it was that the owner of 8chan allowed that in the website, and when Josh Moon complained to the owner of 8chan about this, he would not let Josh Moon remove this. So yeah, he never tolerated this in the first place, but for some reason, Chibi Reviews raised this, and for some reason, he thinks Josh Moon said the opposite. And Chibi Reviews responds to Josh Moon by saying, so you just admitted you would host the content then. Yikes. Chibi Reviews, are you illiterate? Like, he never said that unless if you're right now thinking of child porn, how much you're gonna jack off to it. But after that, Josh Moon responds to Chibi Reviews and says, unfortunately, in my idealism, I tolerated people like you for far long than I should have. I know what you are, you're a freak. You should follow your brother and become a bone nightstand. And Josh Moon pretty much says, yeah, I tolerated that, but he's not gonna tolerate this shit anymore, and you should kill yourself and join your brother and turn yourself into a bone chair. And Chibi Review sees this, and you only see Josh Moon saying that he doesn't tolerate pedos anymore, and Chibi responds to him by saying, so we now got the site owner making their threats too? Thanks for providing. You were allowing them to talk about assassinating me on your site. All the evidence I need now. Chibi sees Josh Moon saying, I don't tolerate pedos, and thinks that's a threat to his life. Like, bro, I don't think that's the only you think it is. But Josh Moon responds by saying, nobody's threatening you. I'm talking about inevitably. You're a dumpy cock who spent his entire youth with a woman getting jackhammered by his best friend. And everyone took her side because you're a sad sack piece of shit everyone hates. You've got nothing but kitty pics. And then Chibi Reviews sees Josh Moon giving him a reality check, and Chibi Reviews responds to him by saying, say whatever you want, but the evidence shows you actively talk with kids and think drawings are kids. While posting this a bit ago, you are actually a projecting freak that has to cower behind buzzwords. Time is ticking, Josh. And you could see that Chibi Reviews provides a screenshot to prove what he's saying. And the funny thing about that is that he said it's a bit ago, but if you read when the post was made, it was from 2016. It's been a decade, so it's not a bit ago, but because he knows his audience are full of autistic and retarded and the drooling wheelchair users, so if Chibi Reviews says something, it must be true, so they will not check it. So Chibi Reviews feels pretty confident that he could misrepresent because his dented audience wouldn't question it at all. But let's read the screenshot that Chibi Reviews provides. And over here, Josh Moon from April 15, 2016, over here says, remember when Terra changed lolly models? Neo-feminism cuckoldry at work, gentlemen. And if you're not a dented Chibi Reviews fan, you could obviously see that he's being sarcastic, and Josh Moon responds to him by saying, this is a sarcastic post in a shit posting board 10 years ago, you fucking imbecile. And you could see over here, he pretty much shows a link. And if you click on it, you could get to the evidence. And Chibi Reviews responds to Josh Moon disproving the accusation by saying, TikTok Josh, the entire world is seeing you for what you are right now. Hypocritical and a freak that talks with kids. You admitted it yourself. shows how you desperately want to project onto me. It's like, this guy's such a faggot. This guy literally acts like an anime character. But also, what are you talking about the entire world? The only people who are backing you up are pedos like you. But you could only see that Chibi Reviews accuses Josh Moon of talking with kids, and it's really funny that out of all the things that Chibi Reviews accuses Josh Moon of, that's the one that Chibi Reviews doesn't provide a screenshot for, but Josh Moon responds, mocks Chibi Reviews by saying, TikTok, nigger suicide is literally in your bloodline. And Chibi Reviews sees so hard and is desperate for unknown, so he had to repeat the exact same thing that he said in the beginning. But after this, Chibi Reviews continues to seethe by making this long post, and Chibi Reviews over here says, extremely important that I address this. Kiwi Farm's owner Josh Moon was talking with a kid that was between the ages 14 to 15 while he was age 18. Within this thread, it's revealed that Iban, was also known as Noel, on Kiwi Farms had romantic feelings for her. He was apparently blocked by her around this time and felt immense loss. Within these revealing exchanges from Josh Moon, he felt a kid was attractive. Allegedly from the conversation, Josh would continuously mention Romeo and Juliet laws that would allow an adult to marry a kid. Later on, it was revealed Josh was a Shotokan and Lolicon with comments he made on Kiwi Farms about Terra MMORPG, commenting on the same model of lolly race model. Years later, he now has recently crashed out about pragmata and fictional content, quickly labeling people as a PDF over fictional content. Anytime someone on the Kiwi Farms question this, Josh Moon swiftly bans them from the site, providing it's not a real speech platform. Apparently, he is untouchable and not allowed to have full dedicated threads on Kiwi Farms despite these allegations. Why is that? Well, wait. So, you're calling out Noel for not allowing a dedicated thread on him? Like, Noel, first of all, does have a thread on him on the Kiwi Farms. And second of all, wasn't your entire thing complaining about a thread made on you and how these people are planning to kill you? Like, you can't really, shit on people for not allowing free speech on their side while you're doing the exact same shit, complaining about people literally saying, oh, we're gonna hire a bunch of niggas to rape you. You can't really say shit. And also the recent shit that was exposed about you involving yourself in gay op servers to flag people down, you can't really say that. And also, you could see that Chibi Reviews is mentioning the Blockland stuff. And the interesting stuff about that is that the Blockland stuff has been twisted so much to the point you don't know what's true or what's false. And Josh Moon responds to Chibi Reviews by saying, this is actually a complete lie. Without doxing her, we were less than 2 years apart and remained friends until my early 20s. Sorry, bro. You don't have shit. This drama is literally older than I was when it happened. You're still a pedophile. And this is what I'm saying. Josh has already responded to this allegation multiple times. But it's funny that these lolicon people call a 2-year age gap pedophilic. But if it's their favorite images of children getting fucked, that is not pedophiling, it's just a drawing, bro. But after this, Chibi Reviews decided to respond to a post from Cog and agrees with him for some reason. And the very funny thing about that is that if you know who Cog is, you know. But to give you an explanation on who Cog is a failed British streamer who dedicates his very pathetic life to A-Log and Ethan Ralph, and also he's a pedophile that admitted to molesting a 14-year-old girl.
You let this fly, bitch. I remember when I was with my ex-girlfriend living here, and Johnny thought he could just come over with an underage girl and thought I'd never find out that she was underage.
Yeah, Chibi Reviews, while calling Josh a pedophile, is literally reposting from actual pedophiles. And you may be saying, well, Chibi probably didn't know who this guy was. Well, I actually could agree with you because because he's only well known if you watch Kino Casino or know some of the Ethan Ralph lore. But I think it's just really funny pointing that out, that he's calling somebody a pedophile while using a pedophile as his evidence. But let's actually read what Chibi Reviews is saying. And Chibi Reviews says, important news! Why is Josh talking with minors? This thread is about the site's owner of Kiwi Farms, the same guy that is labeling me a pedo for fictional content. Why are you hiding Josh? Please address this. And Josh Moon sees this and says, "Sure thing, when I was a teenager I spoke with and was attracted to a teenager. This was documented on the internet forum 15 to 18 years ago. Now that I'm 33, I talk to and I'm attracted to adults. You are older than me today, but are attracted to children. See the difference?" And it's pretty much Josh saying it's not true, but the funny thing is that Chibi Reviews sees Josh saying it was 15 to 18 years ago and thinks of age, and he especially likes the 15-year-old. But Chibi Reviews responds to Josh Moon, and Chibi says, "Heard it here first, folks. Josh admitted he was talking with a child that was 14 to 15 years old, while he was a legal adult at 18. He also forgot to mention this post on Kiwi Farms talking about kids too, proving they had images of children on hand that needed to be censored." And you can see that Chibi Reviews is so disingenuous because Josh Moon never said that. He said that it happened 14 to 18 years ago. Not that the girl was 15 years old while he was 18. But you know, his disabled audience would not question it at all. And also, he had to add 14 to make sure Josh Moon looks like a maxed pedo, something Chibi wished he was. But you could also see that Chibi Reviews is trying to accuse Josh of allowing images of children that needed to be censored, and he provides a screenshot to back up what he is saying. And we know pretty well, when Chibi Reviews provides evidence, it will totally back up what he's saying. But let's read this so-called evidence. When posting pictures of underage girls showing off their mastectomy scars, censor the nipples just out of caution. I know they're posting it to fucking Facebook and shit, but we have to operate under different rules than the rest of the world. And you could see that Josh Moon is talking about the trans stuff where kids are getting convinced that they're the other gender than the gender they are biologically. And you could obviously see that Josh wants people, if they're going to post images of children, mostly little girls removing their breasts, need to censor the nipples. Yeah, totally something a pedo would do. Censor CP. Well, you know, Chibi Reviews wants to see the CP because he's a fucking pedophile. But you could say, what was Josh Moon's intention? Well, his intention was to show people how disgusting this stuff is and to show people that they're mutilating kids, a complete opposite that Chibi was accusing Josh of. But he knows that he'll get away with it because his audience are full of disabled men who can't read shit. So obviously they see Chibi saying something and they think that it has to be true, that they just need to believe it. But Josh Moon responds to Chibi's tweet and says this: "Except that's not true. You're referring to a post 15 years old about things already years old at the time. When I was 18, I was accused of talking to someone who was 16 when I was also 16. People then say it was 19 to 15 to be uncharitable, but you are a pedophile." Bottom text. And you could see Josh Moon raped Chibi Reviews again. You could see that Chibi Reviews right now getting the flashbacks of when he was getting cocked, the flashback when his family disowned, and like Chibi Reviews might kill himself because of this. But after that, Chibi decides to respond to one of Josh's A-logs, Clyde Cash, one of Christian's failed trolls who loves to sweep for Asian trannies, to own Josh. And Chibi Reviews over here says, "Being told the Kiwi Farm thread got locked by site owner Josh. Wonder why? Could it be the covering up of assassination attempts, the threat letters in the mail, the dead kids, DMB spam, the fact Josh is a lolicon, showed account with evidence spreading around? Chibi, isn't that what you want since the beginning of the so-called harassment campaign that the mean, evil green Reddit did to you? Like, what do you want them to do about it? Okay, what do you actually want them to do about the harassment campaign?" But also, he conveniently has to say that the evil Kiwi Farms are sending him images of dead children. Do you have any evidence of this? And also, how would you know that this is from the Kiwi Farms? Like, he consistently has to come up with something worse to accuse the farms of to make himself look like a victim. And you know who also does that? The Cordray. Chibi is literally anime Cordray. These two people are the exact same human being. Or maybe they're two long-lost brothers. They both are faggots, both love being the victims, and they both are cucks, both childless, and both are weird about kids. But now we get to the conclusion of this video, and what's my opinion on the entire situation? Well, Chibi Reviews will consistently talk about how slander is bad and you should not involve yourself in slander, but when it's on somebody that doesn't like him or somebody that says mean things about him, he will immediately engage in slander, and his disabled mobility scooter audience will follow him. This guy doesn't really care about slander, he only cares about it when it affects him. And this is something we've seen with Chibi Reviews, that he will always say one thing is wrong unless if it's on his enemies. Like, even the recent stuff with the gay observer shows he doesn't really care about free speech and is willing to flag people down over saying really mean things about this guy. Like, he's just a fucking grifter. That's who he is. He's a grifter with no convictions, no morals, like his conjoined twin, the Quadrang. But after that, we have finally got to the end of this video. And first of all, I want to say this, okay? I am going to try to catch up with all the Chibi shit, so I might be a little late with a bunch of the stuff that came out, but I'm trying because there's also Quadrang stuff. There's a lot of stuff I really want to cover, so just be patient with me. But getting that out of the way, I hope all you guys give this video a like. I hope we all get to 400 subs. Like I said in the beginning of this video, I saw we all got to 300. That was some amazing shit. I'm happy. But let's try to get higher numbers. Let's get to 400, 500, or 1,000 subs. And I want to see big numbers, huge numbers, okay? I want to see massive numbers, okay? So sub right now. And also, please leave a comment. You can say whatever the fuck you want. You could say, hey, Mr. Zombie, you're a mushmouth that knows nothing. Okay, Chibi Reviews is God. Or you could say, you know what? Fuck Chibi Reviews and Josh Moon is a giga chat and I will donate to his website. You can say whatever the fuck you want. This is a free speech comment section. I'm not gonna be hiding your posts. I'm not gonna be flagging you like other people do all the fucking time. But after that, I hope all you guys have a really great May, a really great summer, and a really great day, and goodbye.